My name's Sean. I'm one of the captains on Bomber 210.
So we centered that, fly just a little bit offset from that rocky patch where it hits the trees out of line, up with those two smokes on the backside.
Yeah. I've been on Tanker 210 since 2019. Had a brief period to where I did leave, but I came back in 2023.
Bird Dog 273, Bomber 210 coming up on 10 miles.
We have 5 Australians in the LAP program that we're actively working with to upgrade and become PICs one day. And all that is based on fire activity, exposure. You know, have they seen enough that we think we could turn them loose and be safe and be effective? Our job is 90% sitting around and 10% firefighting. So there's a big void that we have that if you're a tanker pilot or anybody associated with fire, you have to be really good at sitting around. But that's also time that we could leverage into training. And since we're here in Australia and we're bringing up a new fresh batch of pilots who came from an aviation background, that 90% of time becomes a really beneficial time for us to be able to work with our guys, and we can invest our time into training them up. And so that these guys have been exposed to the dangers and the watch out situations and also what good looks like before they're fully on their own.
All right, overrun.
Up with the overrun, we're at low and left. Let me know when you got me. I've got you inside.
Realizing the equipment that we already have on base and how to get guys in a complex scenario to where they actively need to be talking to everybody to organize them. Kind of creating a cheap training environment that we can do over and over again. It's not going to burn fuel, it's not going to put anybody in unnecessary exposures. So we came up with this riding around bikes. And so guys have to worry about riding this bike and trying to ride the bike on the right line and be in position, and we put the helicopter on a tricycle so they can move a little bit slower. This is a bit of a different approach compared to the usual classroom or sand table exercises, but that's the point. Getting out here on bikes adds a bit of energy and makes it easier to visualize how we move and communicate in a fire traffic area. It's a simple way to build habits around entry, holding, and exit procedures, and it reinforces how important clear communication and positioning are when things get busy. So not all training has to be serious. We do have to get out here and have a good time. That would make sure we're prepared when things have to be serious. So for this incident that we were doing on the bikes, we set role players, so actual agency air attacks, and we gave them the charge to act like they were rusty, like they haven't flown on a fire in a long time, and don't give our lead plane pilots all the information they're going to ask for. Typically, they'll always work in a team, and the lat air attack is talking to the primary air, or instant air attack, sorry. But in this case, we wanted our lead plane pilot to be able to ask all the questions, just so he's aware of the questions that he's going to have to ask.
On that left flank, let's get the right hand pattern. And 211, you're cleared left flank. Support retardant.
131, fast scan 200, QNH 1011, speed 1,500,
So
we're at 1,000.
our agency air attacks were role playing and not giving all the information out. Our lead plane pilot had to ride his bike in and extract all of the information at the appropriate times. And the lead plane only has about 4 or 5 minutes before the lat comes in.
Fire scan 200, Bomber 131, 12 miles.
So that lead plane is charged, and he has that pressure, that time crunch that we put him underneath to be able to coordinate, trust what the air attack says, verify it as it's on the ground as what he's seeing, and then find out the work area, take the assets he may need to control to be able to deconflict that area, and then have everything set up so that by the time the lat comes in, they make a call and everything's already coordinated. It becomes pretty simple.
The helicopter dropping right now. The line is clear. We're clear to drop. Number 2 to the helicopter. He's departing now.
Okay, I've got 210, 211 vision.
He's clear, right? You're clear. Clear to drop. You'll be out straight.
Okay, clear to drop. Okay, off the drop and clearing empty.
So this type of training improves coordination just from exposure. We always bring in our agency, so in this case the RFS air attack, and we get to run a fire scenario going 0 miles an hour and running through all of our normal procedures on coming into a fire, assessing the whole fire, coming up with tactics, and applying them to the fire. So at any point in these simulations, we can actually pause them and talk about the 2 or 3 options that they have to keep going. And then, we allow the student to pick it. We venture down that road and we see which way that takes us.
Warren says the line is clear. We're clear to drop. Standing final.
Okay, I'm in position.
helicopter's coming in. Anchor off the retardant line. 060, coverage level 6, full load, you're out straight.
I'm a 131's clear and empty, out straight.
131 copies. We'll go back for a look. Load and return.
Load and return.
You know, I've worked for a lot of tanker companies, but what has provided me is a lot of insight on the way other companies are doing things and the way people's approach to firefighting, training in firefighting, and you know, what a good firefighting program looks like. So I really have a good perspective on what's out there and what we're doing here. And Coulson's support and the RFS's support for our initiatives to be able to provide the best training is unlike anything I've ever seen. Because people see we have something special here, that we can actually train these guys to a high level and turn out a program that's going to be a one-off, because there's never been a LAT program stood up in another country before. But we want to make sure we do it right. We want to make sure that we're equipping guys to not only be safe and go home every night, that's the most important job, but that we're being effective and that we're actually going out there and we're using good use of time, good use of words, and good use of our assets.
Never Bomber 131, but today I'm Bomber 131. Feels good. Feels right. I'm still talking to James, you just don't know it yet.